Hi, my name is Emma McClure. You can call me Emma or Professor McClure, your choice. And I'll be teaching you bioethics. So I've taught many times before, but this will be my first time teaching online. And for many of you, I think it will be your first time taking a course online. So we're in this together and we'll figure it out. I just wanted to take this video to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about my plan for the course. We'll go through a few course policies, not all of them, and then there'll be other videos about discussion boards and late penalties and assignments and those policies. So who am I? I'm a 6th-year PhD student in the philosophy department. My main areas of research are ethics and feminism, and I'm writing a dissertation, basically a book, about moral responsibility for microaggressions. We'll actually be talking about microaggressions later in this course, so you'll hear all about them at that point. But basically, they're small conversational insults and invalidations, often associated with race and gender and homophobia, that many people overlook, but I think are actually a very important part of our moral lives. So that's what I do most of the time when I'm not teaching. I work on that project. But I've also taught several courses, most recently a course on feminism, intersectional feminism, and decolonial feminism. And also, before that, a course on existentialism. And then I've also TA'd or been a tutorial leader for many different courses. I've done bioethics about 6 times now, also law and morality, introduction to ethics, and philosophy of human sexuality. So I'm excited to teach this bioethics course because it intersects with so many of my interests and so many of the things I've taught before. And I hope it will be fun and engaging and interesting for you as well. Now to switch over to talking a little bit about the course. I've called it, as you can see here, these are excerpts from the syllabus, Caring for Vulnerable Populations, but it is the Phil 281 bioethics that you all signed up for. So as you can see here, the course is asynchronous, so that means there'll never be a required time of day when you have to be doing anything for this course. There are optional question and answer sessions on Monday and Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But if you can't make those, you'll also have the option to meet with me at different times. So first off, just here's the course description for the course. The Physician's Pledge, the most recent version of the Hippocratic Oath, if you've heard of that, details the ethical duties of a physician. It focuses on protecting the autonomy and dignity of the patient. We'll be talking a lot about those concepts, especially in the first few weeks. And it lists groups who are particularly vulnerable to mistreatment and require special attention. Here's a quote from that document. I will not permit considerations of age, disease, disability, creed, ethnic origin, gender, nationality, political affiliation, race, sexual orientation, social standing, or any other factor to intervene between my duty and my patient. So this course explores the implications of the Physician's Pledge. It answers questions like, how do we care for the elderly without treating them like children? Should disability be treated as a medical or a social problem? Who takes on these caregiving roles? How can medical professionals be trained to resist stereotypes about race and ethnicity? What role should gender and sexuality play in medical treatment recommendations? So these issues we'll be talking about throughout the course, and we'll talk about them in other bioethics course if you go on and take more bioethics. But they've really become particularly pressing in recent weeks. The current pandemic has shown a spotlight on health disparities within vulnerable populations. So we will conclude the class with a discussion of how to balance competing healthcare needs and the opportunity we have to create a more just future after this crisis passes. So just to give you a sense of what I'd like you to get out of this course, I've included these course objectives. I want to improve your critical reading and thinking skills. We'll be spending a lot of time talking through how to do the readings well. And also, I want you to learn how to engage in ethical argumentation for yourself, which is what the writing assignments and the discussion boards will help you do. And then finally, of course, you will be introduced to different topics in bioethics. So here's what you'll be evaluated on. There will be weekly discussion board posts. It won't happen in the first week or the final week. But in between there, your tutorial leaders, Shiying and Adrian, will be giving you weekly prompts, and you'll have to respond to them within the time frame that they give you. But we'll talk a lot more about what I expect for you out of these discussion boards and what your tutorial leaders expect from you. The next 3 things are just short writing assignments. The summary, due May 14th, is only 300 words. We're going to talk about how to get really focused in, how to organize these summaries. And then that will prepare you for the next 2 slightly longer writing assignments. The next short paper is 600 words. You'll have to summarize and also object. And then the final short paper, due on June 15th, is 900 words, and you'll be expected to summarize, object, and also reply. But we'll learn what all that means. And then finally, there'll be a take-home exam that will be mostly short answer questions that I'll tell you when I know when that's due. Okay. So all the required texts that you'll need will be available on Quercus. You will not need to buy a textbook. Everything will be online. And each class will require only 10 to 20 pages of reading. Those will be taken out of longer articles and books. If you're interested, I can post the longer readings, but you'll only be expected to know material in the assigned portions that I'll have posted on Quercus during papers and exams. So then just to say a little bit about the class schedule, I'm not going to go through the whole reading list today, although maybe in a future video I will. But I did want to call attention to these content warnings. So as I said, I've taught feminism before. Those were very important in that class as well. But given that we're talking so much about different vulnerable groups that you might actually be a part of or have family members or friends who are part of these groups, and also given that we're teaching during a global pandemic, so you might have particular classes where you are just going to have more difficulty engaging with the subject matter because of other things going on in your lives. So I wanted to flag that I'm thinking about these issues and that I'm willing to work with you as you're trying to get through some of these hard times ahead. And I hope that this class will actually help you to think through and to maybe heal from some of these different traumas. So I'll just read what I've written here. Many classes will touch on these topics, the ones listed above, and sometimes they will be discussed in depth. I know this will make reading and participation difficult for some of you, and you may not always know in advance whether you can complete a particular reading or participate in discussion forums. I am open to accommodating your needs and providing makeup assignments as necessary. However, when possible, I think it is important to work through these topics together. As a disabled person and someone who has experienced trauma, I know the cost of having conversations around these issues, but I also know the benefits of finding solidarity. So I hope you too can take these discussions as an opportunity for growth and healing. And I'll talk about the class policies where you can find more information and resources, but please let me know if you require content warnings that are not listed. So here's the list again: ableism, racism, colonialism, sexism, classism, homophobia, transphobia, fatphobia, abortion, dementia, suicide, eating disorders, and coronavirus COVID-19. So other course policies, first of all, contact policies. You are required to check your university email accounts regularly. That is the only way I have to contact you in this online course. So you will need to stay up to date with that at least once a week, hopefully more than that. All announcements and grades will be posted on Quercus, and all of your papers will be returned over Quercus. If you need to get in contact with me, I can be reached at this email address, emma.mcclure@mail.utoronto.ca. And if you email me, this is important, you must include the course code PHL 281 in the subject line. I will reply to all emails each day between the hours of 12 to 5 Eastern Standard Time, and you can expect a response within 48 hours. I may tell you that your question can't be answered over email and you'll need to come to office hours instead. So if you have a complicated question about the philosophy, I'm going to tell you to meet with me in office hours or ask it during the Q&A sessions. But what are office hours? So these are times when you can meet with me one-on-one. You'll have 10 minutes to talk about whatever you'd like to talk about. And I'll have 2 hours every Friday that you can sign up for. One will be in the morning, in case you're in a different time zone from me, and that's easier for you. This will take place from 9:45 to 10:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And one also in the afternoon, again, if you're maybe in a more Pacific time zone and that's a better time for you. This will be from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So to make an appointment, you'll use the scheduler feature on Quercus Calendar. I've given you a how-to guide. You can check it out. It seems pretty straightforward to follow that. And the meeting will take place over BB Collaborate, also on Quercus. Class attendance and participation. As you know, this class takes place online. Attendance is not required, but you do have the option to ask questions Monday and Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over BB Collaborate. As I've mentioned, you'll also have to participate, and this is required, via weekly discussion boards run by your TAs, Xiying and Adrian. And you'll have the opportunity to practice participating during the first week on discussion boards all set up for you. So weeks 2 through 5 will be required. Week 6 will be an optional makeup opportunity. So if you need further accommodation than that, maybe due to a prolonged sickness or other unexpected disruption, please get in touch with me as soon as possible. I also wanted to highlight, going along with those content warnings earlier, that this is a time when you may come to find that you're experiencing mental health difficulties you've never had before. COVID-19 is a really stressful time, and taking courses is really stressful to do. So doing both of those things together, I realize, can be very difficult and psychologically demanding. So again, I'll just read through this. It's important to work hard and push yourself, but it's even more important to be kind to yourself. Given the subject matter and timing of this course, you may also find yourself experiencing grief, anxiety, obsessive thinking, panic attacks, or other unexpected reactions to stress. Perhaps you are experiencing these mental health difficulties while simultaneously recovering from other trauma or grief. So here are some further resources, and these are listed in the syllabus, that might help you through your particular struggles. There are some general COVID-19 related resources, other health and wellness and counseling resources, and some mental health resources. So I hope you take advantage of those whenever and how often you need them. And I also hope that you're in touch with me about situations as they arise. I'll see you next video.